So guys, we are back here again today for another video. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. As the title will suggest, we've got another interesting topic of discussion. If you guys haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel, stay up to date with more interesting gear content. I'm also gonna leave a link down below. This channel now has an official Discord server, so if you wanna have some conversations, share your gear, post some questions, keep the community discussions going, that would be the place to do it. So getting started here, we're gonna be taking a look at a recent model that has come out from Ibanez guitars. You guys are probably well familiar with the brand. I think it's safe to say that Ibanez has really been a consistent staple within the entire history of pretty much like your modern solid body electric guitar, known for their modern like super strat shapes, very suitable for technical players. You got that modern, that slim neck, high output pickups, all that good stuff. Now, in recent years, Ibanez has begun to offer some headless models. This particular style caught my eye the other day. A buddy of mine actually sent me this link. I found it fairly interesting, so I want to kind of do a little bit more research and see what else is going on. So right off the bat, I'm just going to say I'm not a huge fan of the looks, the appearance, the styling of these Ibanez headless models. Not because they're headless. As a matter of fact, I'm definitely a huge fan, a huge believer of headless guitars. I just feel like the body shape is just a bit strange, just not really the most appealing. So I really think there's a lot of other companies that have definitely more attractive designs for headless guitars. I can kind of see where they're going with this one. I mean, I like the idea. I think it has a purpose, but I don't know, man. It's kind of strange, but it's not really feeling it as far as looks. Now, the Pale Moon Ebony definitely caught my eye. I've always been a long time fan of just interesting like exotic woods, definitely have that sort of elevated like boutique look about them. Now, I'm gonna assume based on the price point at around $1,300, $1,200, somewhere in that range, that this is probably not gonna be a genuine Pale Moon top. I suspect this is more than likely probably some type of veneer. I know a lot of other companies that do offer like genuine like 1/4 inch thick Pale Moon tops. Can be anywhere from $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 just for the top alone as an upgrade. So definitely gonna say this is probably gonna be some type of veneer at this price point. So overall, it is a very interesting design. There's definitely a lot of positives to say. I like the slim body. It's got an ebony fretboard. We've got the Jescar EVO gold frets. We've got a multi-laminate neck for that stable, smooth construction. Lots and lots of things going on for these guitars. But I want to take the time to kind of get into a couple more specific details and where we can start to unpack some of the downfalls with these Ibanez headless. Now, something that really stands out to me that I find quite confusing is so many of these headless designs, they have this very strange, this kind of bulbous like nub on the end of where your headstock would normally be. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but the purpose of having a headless guitar is to maximize ergonomics, correct? So we're gonna have a comfortable, a smooth design. We're not gonna have anything that's going to irritate or cause any type of discomfort. Now, any of these headless models where you have like that little chunky nub on the end, I have found that sometimes they can be a point of irritation. I've seen other content creators talk about this from other headless brands. So I don't really see the point. I don't think it adds a lot of value to the design. The only benefit I could see is if you're trying to still hang up the guitar like on a traditional guitar hanger, I guess that would allow you to do so. But at the end of the day, if you're buying a headless guitar, your priority is going to be comfort. So what's more important, being able to hang up the guitar or maximizing ergonomics? Okay, so getting into neck specifications, looking at the 6-string model here, we've got a 21 to 22 millimeter difference from the 1st to the 12th fret. And I know at a glance, it's like, okay, that sounds fairly thin, but by Ibanez standards, that's actually kind of a chunkier neck. And I'm very surprised to see that here. In contrast, looking at the 7-string model, you can see this model actually has a constant thickness of 19 millimeters all the way up the neck, which in my view is probably a little bit extreme. I don't think most people really need to go that thin. Obviously, the 7-string is going to be much wider, so I imagine that the purpose was to make it more comfortable, a little bit more accessible, just working around that wider neck. But why are we penalizing the 6-string player? I don't understand. I mean, most people that are going to Ibanez, their loyalty in the brand is they want that wizard neck. They want it to be ultra flat and slim. They don't want that chunkiness, myself included, guys. So very strange. I don't understand. I really think that if they had just gone with maybe like a 19 to 20 millimeter or say like a 19 to 21, just that natural, that gradual transition from a little thinner to a little thicker as you work up towards the joint. But I really think this was a huge misstep from the design over at Ibanez. I don't understand why they would do this. As I've said before, the emphasis on ergonomics. People who are buying Ibanez, they want a thin neck. People who are buying a headless guitar, they want advanced ergonomics. So I really think that this is going to prevent a lot of people from purchasing these guitars. Now, the next thing that I find very confusing about this model is specifically on the 7-string, why are we slanting the frets? I don't get it. We're dealing with a 25.5-inch straight scale, but they've gone through the lengths to build a guitar around having slanted frets for a standard scale. I mean, most 7-string players, right? These are kind of your modern, your progressive, extended range guitarist. I mean, most of these guys are going to down tune, right? And if you're going to detune the guitar, you're going to want to have increased tension, right? So if they're going to go through the lengths to slant the frets, why not just make it a multi-scale? I'm very confused. I just don't really see the purpose of that. I don't see a lot of value added to this model by having just slanted frets, but no increased tension from having longer scale length like you would on a multi-scale. So very, very strange. Very, very strange. I see huge potential in these Ibanez headless models. I think if they could redesign the body shape to be a little bit more aesthetically pleasing, that would be a nice improvement. And again, if we could get that neck profile consistent from the 6 and 7-string models, if we could get more of a reasonable neck profile consistent with what most people expect coming from your typical Ibanez guitars, I think that'd be a huge improvement. So again, while there are a lot of positive things to say about these guitars, I really think that there's a lot of design flaws that are going to probably hold a lot of people back from considering these models, especially when there are so many other high-end headless guitars on the market that do not have these same ergonomic problems. And once again, guys, please keep in mind, no hate on the brand whatsoever. I've always been a fan of Ibanez guitars. I think they've always been consistently one of the leading brands as far as your modern, your Strat type guitars for your progressive players. I just think there's a lot of issues here that are going to hold this model back from being successful. My purpose, again, as a content creator within the space of guitar gear, I want to take the time to analyze some of these specifications to help you guys make these decisions about your future gear purchases. I've bought and sold dozens and dozens of guitars over the years. I've had a lot of buy and sell regrets. So if I see something that looks like a red flag, I'm going to talk about it. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Curious to hear your perspective. If you maybe own any of these Ibanez headless models or maybe you're thinking about buying one, let's hear from you guys in the comment section. That's going to wrap it up for today. Be sure to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe for more. Make sure to check out the Discord server as well. And I'll be sure to see you guys in the next one. Have a great day.